Welcome to our third video in our parent series on executive functioning. In our first video, we encouraged families to create designated learning spaces for their students. Having a designated learning space helps a child visualize their remote learning setting as school. It helps them keep their materials that they need organized. It eliminates distractions and it communicates to everyone the importance of the work that students are to be doing. During that video, we mentioned two additional tools, whole body listening and time robbers, and promised that we would address those in future sessions. In video 2, we introduced you to whole body listening. Listening Larry taught us that when we listen, we do so with more than just our ears. When we engage in active listening, we are actually using our ears, eyes, mouth, hands, feet, body, brain, and heart. Tonight, we will introduce you to time robbers. A time robber is anything that takes your attention away from an activity that you are completing and thus robs you of the time you need to complete that activity. There are 4 different types of time robbers that we will discuss tonight. They include body, organizer, scope, and focus. Let's get started.
Firstly, let's talk about the body time robber. A body time robber is anything your body physically feels that takes attention away from your work. This includes feeling thirsty, hungry, sleepy, antsy, or sick. Our brain thinks about these physical feelings and stops thinking about the task at hand. Meanwhile, time keeps moving. So what does that look like? Here we have Miss Berrickman and Miss Claft, who have been given an assignment to draw a picture of their favorite animal and write a couple sentences on why it's their favorite animal.
I'm hungry. I want to go get a snack.
Meanwhile, time keeps moving. You may notice that while Mrs. Claft has gone to get a snack, Mrs. Berrickman is working hard on her assignment. She's got a couple sentences down, she's drew a picture of her favorite animal. Let's see how much Mrs. Claft has gotten done. Second, the organizer time robber. An organizer time robber is when you don't have the supplies you need to complete your task, or when you don't have a plan for how you'll go about doing the task. Notice how Mrs. Berrickman is using her pencil case that is attached to her learning board. She has all of her materials and she is ready to work. Mrs. Claft, however, is missing some materials. Let's see what happens.
I'm ready to color. Where are my crayons? Oh, I forgot my crayons.
And while she's looking, time keeps moving. So while Mrs. Claft is looking for her materials, let's see how much she's gotten done. Looks like she's got a little bit more done. She's got her elephant completed, but nothing written down yet. And here we have Mrs. Berrickman, who's got almost a whole paragraph and lots of colors. And time keeps moving. The third time robber is scope. Your scope is either too narrow or too wide. An example of a narrow scope is focusing too much on one detail, such as making your work look perfect. An example of a wide scope is trying to give more detail than the assignment calls for.
This ear is way too big.
You might notice that Mrs. Claft has a narrow scope. She is taking a lot of time to work on small details of her drawing. And she has yet to start the writing. That time keeps moving. The fourth time robber is focus, which is anything that you see or hear that draws your attention away from the task. Some examples would be distractions in the room, a telephone ringing, toys nearby, maybe someone talking on the phone, or a brother, sister, or friend talking to you while you're trying to do your work.
How's yours coming? What are you doing after school today? Do you want to play at the park?
Let's talk about it when we're done.
I'm kind of bored.
You have to get more done.
You may notice that Mrs. Claft is now stealing Mrs. Barrickman's focus away from the task. Because she's stealing her focus, she's also stealing her time.
But really, do you want to do something together after school today?
We have that much time we have to finish.
Okay, class, you have 2 more minutes to work. You should be finishing up.
Oh, no. I need more time. More time, please. 2 minutes isn't enough. I haven't even started my writing. And that is Time Robbers in a nutshell. We challenge you this week as you watch your students engage in remote learning to note which time robbers are interfering most with their ability to successfully engage in small and large group meetings on Teams and to complete independent work. Is it a body time robber, such as the draw of the kitchen and the food it promises, or sleepiness resulting from a poor night's sleep? Is it an organizer time robber, such as not knowing where materials are or what the schedule for the day is? Is it a scope time robber? Are they spending too much time on part of an activity that they lose track of the whole? Or is it a focus time robber? Are they distracted by the sights and sounds of home? Remember, a time robber is anything that takes your attention away from the task at hand and robs you of the time you need to complete it. Next week, we will wrap up our series on executive functioning with one final video focusing on how to defeat time robbers. See you then.